Yo, we're hanging out in the studio and I'm gonna build some stuff for a client, so here we are. We are prepping for a client, so I have to recreate a laboratory environment. We're gonna fire up the cyc wall. Sweet. I have it all through the Cytus Link app, which allows me to dial in the cyc wall without having to go up into the grid and touch everything. So I could actually take, let's say, the cyc wall, and I could start to make it different colors if I wanted to. So obviously that's a very, well, it's kind of blown out for you. Let's see. So it can be any color that I really want it to be, but because this is supposed to imitate a laboratory environment, that is always going to be clean and white. So we will go ahead and change it back. Sweet. Most people that are creatives like me tend to work by themselves very often, so I figured I would just live stream what I'm doing, mainly because if you're by yourself too, welcome. What's up, Mom?
How you doing?
Love you. Welcome to the studio. So the entire thought process is that I hired a new intern, and I'm going to be teaching him over the coming weeks and months the ins and outs of video production. But I also have clients that I'm going to be creating video courses for. So why not record the teachings that I will be going over with him, and allowing people via live stream like this to then come into the chat and ask questions that they might not, that they may have about video production, working with clients, anything in the creative spaces business, because that will also help me form my training. And at some point, I will sell a training course as far as corporate videography. If anybody has a question about the studio while I'm setting up for a client, feel free to ask in the chat. Apparently I need to tighten the oil drain bolt on the Triumph because it leaked a little bit of oil on the cyc wall. It's exciting. All right. So I got a new light that I'm going to try to use to suspend over that table. I'm trying to recreate a lab environment because I'm doing a test shoot for a client where we'll be filming in labs all over the country. So I have to recreate the lab in the studio, and then I need to make a simplistic way to correctly light the lab that we're going to be filming in so that we can knock out 320 videos per lab. So that should be fun. Logan, my intern was hired not knowing he had a fear of mannequins. So that's been fun. He intentionally sat next to that mannequin to make himself feel more comfortable, but I felt so bad when he walked in, he freaked. He was like, ah, and it's, yeah, that's fun. What's up, Chris? So I am currently setting a test shoot up for a client. There's an old, longtime client that has many laboratories around the world, and they want me to shoot a test shoot, a paid test shoot, to show them what we would deliver for them if we went to all of their labs and created a bunch of assets for them. So we're pretty much mocking up what a lab would look like. We are just going to make a very clean, sterile looking environment. And then from there, we're just going to show camera placement, lighting, and then how we could streamline the shooting on location to make it to where we can easily record 80 different products in 1 week, and then turn 80 products into 4 different videos each. So that's 320 different video deliverables per week per location, and some locations will be filmed 2 weeks, and there's 4 or 5 labs in the US that we would start with, and then we'd go to 6 labs in South America. So it's kind of just so that they can show who they need to have sign off on it. The process, that it's going to be simple, not invasive, and that's pretty much it. So right now I'm actually getting ready to move an overhead rig setup from when I've been shooting some YouTube content right here. I'm going to move it over there so I can have a top-down look at when in the laboratory they are mixing stuff. We can have that top-down look of the stuff being mixed. Because I'm not a laboratory, I have a bunch of random beakers and random stuff I can find from an art place that we're going to mimic that. So. So I am setting up I just set up a top-down camera, and there's currently a Amaran light panel mat, a 1x2 flexible mat that is right above the camera that is lighting from top down. I'm gonna use the Aperture Nova there on that rolling stand as the key light. And then I'm gonna eventually use the FX6 right here as the A cam, and then this A7 IV will be a B cam, and then the overhead cam is the C cam. And so all that's gonna do is when we are on location, we have 3 different angles to cut to make it more interesting, because when you're in a lab, sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's boring. And if it was just me talking to you like this the whole time, it would be boring. Having a secondary angle that's tight on whatever's happening is a nice touch, and then having the overhead looking straight down. So if there's something mixing in a bowl and then you can see it from that top-down perspective, just adds a little bit of flair. very alarmed at the moment because that mannequin has literally scared the crap out of like 13 people in the past week. And he used to just sit there. He used to just sit there naked, and then I finally put clothes on him. And then he scared people because he was clothed, and they're like, "Oh, I thought that was actually a person this time." So I don't know what to do about not scaring people with a mannequin. However, if I'm by myself or if I'm with my new intern and we want to practice lighting, show what certain lighting will do in certain scenarios, having a human-looking mannequin definitely helps because somebody doesn't have to actually sit there as we adjust and move things around. So, Manny the mannequin, I don't have a better name for him, is pretty useful. And here's the current setup. Whee! You can see the top of the cyc wall, and you can see the light kind of up above. I really don't care because we're mimicking a lab environment that won't be there. So disregard, but we're getting there. Pretty much almost there. The only issue is I have to take this A7 IV and add it to the mix. So, do I do that now or not? 209. Taupe. Well, this was a test stream. Eventually, when my intern is here, I will have somebody that is learning new, that has lots and lots of questions. He was here the past couple of days. My goal is we will both be mic'd up as he's asking questions and learning all about video production. You will get to experience that. You will get to learn. He's 22 or 23. I am 37. There have been some fun, just life discussions. And I think that ideally, me in the past 6 years as a creator, typically I've worked from home. You end up working alone a majority of the time. And you don't have that sort of sense of community. That's why we go to coffee shops and we go do other things where we can be around people, just so that we don't feel so alone in what we're doing. And so my hope maybe with this is maybe it's educational, but also maybe you're at home, you don't even live in the same state or country I live in, you're editing, maybe you have this on in the background, and every now and then you can just check in and be like, oh, I feel like I'm in the studio, I feel like I'm a part of it. You can jump into the chat, tell me about your day. You can ask a question. If there was something that you were considering, I have lots of gear. I have so much stuff in here. And then I'm able to either demonstrate, you can ask a question about lighting, about cameras, about anything and everything, right? And so hopefully my goal is to be able to display that, to show that to people. So I'm gonna go get some coffee. The stream's gonna end, then I'll be back. I'll start a new stream and we'll just go from there.